الله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. وبعد, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, Sunday after Maghrib, we talk about the names and attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Asma'illah al-Husna wa Sifatihi al-Ula. And always we say the reason why we have these lessons is to know Allah more and more. And that's the best knowledge ever. When we know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and alhamdulillah, we know Him through His book and His words. Nobody is describing Allah right now. Allah is describing Himself. He's talking about Himself. He's talking about His names and attributes, His knowledge and everything. And we said that the benefit of learning this knowledge, which is connected basically to Aqidah, which is the main part of Aqidah, is to know how to pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to ask Allah, to talk to Allah, to beg Allah, to seek the help of Allah, the support of Allah. Subhanallah al-Azim. And the names of today, Al-Latif, Al-Khabir. We are sorry about that. We are so sorry. We just need to do the khatira. We're so sorry for interrupting you. Barakallahu feekum. Ismullah, we're so sorry. So Ismullah Azza wa Jal, Al-Latif, Al-Khabir, which came together in Al-Quran in many places. قول الله عز وجل لا تدركه الأبصار وهو يدرك الأبصار وهو اللطيف الخبير. Al-Latif, we see لطف الله عز وجل and we see علم الله عز وجل. Al-Latif is the ever kind to His servants, the ever kind and kindful to His servants, who shows the best kindness to His servants. He gives them everything, He bestows everything upon them. However, they disobey, and some of them, they worship other gods beside Him. They oppress people, they disobey messengers, they oppress people, and they commit sins during the day, during the night, and they know that He can see them and He can watch them. However, they don't stop doing something like this, and He did not stop His provision. يَعْصُونَهُ وَيَرْزُقُهُمْ. They disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yet He provides them. They kill Muslims, they kill children, they kill women, they kill the innocents. However, they're still alive. They still get more chances. They still eat from the provision of Allah, because He's the only one who gives them the provision. He's the only one who makes them able to eat something, to drink something. Without Allah's help, we cannot do anything. We cannot eat, we cannot drink, and even we cannot go to the restroom to relieve ourselves and to empty, our stomach. And one king happened that someone asked them, how much you can pay for having a sip of water if you need it and you're thirsty? He said, half of my kingdom I will pay for the sake of getting a sip of water, because I need it. And then he asked them, so if you want to go and release yourself and urinate that sip of water, how much can you pay if you need to go to that restroom and the only thing is to pay money? He said, I will pay the second half of my kingdom. He said, Subhanallah, لا خير في ملك يزول في شربة ماء وفي إخراجها. لا خير في ملك, there is no goodness in a kingdom, in authority, that it's done because of a sip of water you drank and you need to relieve. You need to take it out of your stomach. That's it. That's the dunya. That's the dunya. So everything is done by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because He is the most kindful. subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the ever kind to his servants. Al-Latif. And comes with Al-Latif, Al-Khabir. Al-Khabir, who knows the hidden things. You know, the hidden things that every one of us is trying his best to hide from everyone. Allah knows the intentions and the motives that we have in our hearts, and nobody knows anything about it. Only Allah knows, and He subhanahu wa ta'ala accounts everyone. So Al-Khabir is part of His knowledge, something special in the knowledge of Allah. His name is Al-Alim, something specific more regarding His knowledge, that He is Al-Khabir. As if you, وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى, you bring someone to work with you, he's called a worker, for example. And then you need more expert person who have a big experience in a field. So you pay more money to get that expert. And they work in the same field, but because he has more experience, you pay him more, and he solves the problem in a minute, in short time, because of his experience. So, وَلِلَّهِ الْمَثَلُ الْأَعْلَى, Allah has the knowledge which includes everything. عِلْمُهُ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ سُبْحَانَهُ وَتَعَالَى. And more specific, His knowledge for the hidden things that everyone tries to hide from people. You see someone is smiling at someone else, smiling to someone else, and he says, I love this person for the sake of Allah, and so on. And then he hides something in his heart. Subhanallah, Allah knows that thing which is in the heart, which nobody knows except for Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. Lutfuhu, His kindness subhanahu wa ta'ala to His servants, مقرون باسمه الخبير. مقرون بأنه بوصفه أنه خبير. It's always coming mostly with His knowledge. Because the one who can give the kindness to people, he cannot give it without the knowledge, the deep knowledge, the experience in the knowledge that covers everything. That's why it always, the kindness comes with al-Khabir, the one who knows everything, even the hidden things, even the hidden things. And when you look at this, لا تدركه الأبصار, يعني our sights cannot encompass Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَهُوَ يُدْرِكُ الْأَبْصَارِ, He encompasses everything, noticing everything. He notices everything, watches everything, subhanahu wa ta'ala. His knowledge includes all kinds of things. وَهُوَ يُدْرِكُ الْأَبْصَارِ. At the same time, وَهُوَ اللَّطِيفُ الْخَبِيرُ, because the one who knows that this person is disobeying Him, this person is worshipping fire, this person is worshipping idols, this person is making dua to the grave, he is not making dua to Allah, this person is stealing, this person is fornicating, that one is cheating, that one is deceiving, that one is lying, that, all kinds of people. He sees all of that and he gives them the chances. Latif, من لطفه سبحانه وتعالى أنه يمن علينا بمزيد فرص. وهذا من إنعامه علينا, that one part of His kindness, that He gives us chances and chances. And subhanallah, you see a person used to disobey Allah for many years, worshipping others beside Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then he becomes Muslim. And not only this, he learns more about his religion, he becomes da'iyah. He's talking to people about Islam, he's inviting people to Islam, he's trying to take people's hands to Islam, to guide them to Islam, to show the real Islam for them. And he's doing his best to do that job in the best way. And he wasn't Muslim. He just became Muslim for 1 year, for a couple of weeks, months, and so on. And however, he was the enemy of Islam. As we said, the story of Thumama ibn Uthal. He did not like Islam, Prophet of Islam, city of Islam, the religion of Islam. And after he became a Muslim, in the same day, Prophet ﷺ became the most beloved to his heart. The city of Rasulullah ﷺ became the most beloved to his heart. And the religion of Islam became the most beloved to his heart. This is the kindness. أبو سفيان يحارب النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام سنوات عديدة، وفي غزوة يؤذي النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام قبل الهجرة، وأصحاب النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام، ثم غزوة بدر، ثم غزوة أحد، ثم غزوة الأحزاب، وغزوات وسرايا مختلفة، وصراعات وصلح الحديبية. ثم بعد ذلك يسلم ويحسن إسلامه ويقاتل مع النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام. في العام وفي الشهر الذي أسلم فيه مع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم في غزوة حنين. وبعض الصحابة يفرون بسبب الكمين الذي حدث في غزوة حنين. أما أبو سفيان يقاتل مع النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام ويمسك بلجام فرسه صلى الله عليه وسلم، ورسول الله يقول أنا النبي لا كذب، أنا ابن عبد المطلب. ثم يقاتل أبو سفيان حتى يموت شهيدا. يعني أبو سفيان one of the great enemies of Islam, hurting Muslims, hurting Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم before the migration. And then because of the kindness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he didn't die as non-believer. And then he fights with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Ghazwat Badr. And as mushrikeen, the non-believers, he had a caravan and he escaped with the caravan, But the non-believers, they fought the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he wasn't there. In the battle of Uhud, they had the fight with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and he wasn't killed. And then in Ghazwat al-Ahzab, he wasn't killed. And then the time between Al-Ahzab and Uhud and between Al-Ahzab and Fath Makkah, the conquest of Makkah and so on, and he's not killed, And then he fights with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam when he believes in the month in which he became a believer, a Muslim, submitted to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He fights with the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the battle of Hunain. And some of the companions of the Prophet, they escape. And then Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam stays there and he fights. And he takes, the horse of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, staying with Rasulullah, sacrificing for the sake of the protection of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. After he was the biggest enemy of Rasulullah. And then after the death of Rasulullah, he fights for the sake of Allah. And then he dies as a martyr. Allahu Akbar. He was a great enemy of Islam. Now he's serving Islam. هذا لطف الله عز وجل. هذا لطف الله عز وجل. يجلس الأخ يربي في ولده والولد شقي لا يحفظ القرآن، لا يستمع إلى أبيه، لا يستمع إلى أمه، لا يستمع إلى أحد، شقي دائما وأبدا، يكبر في السن، تزداد شقاوته، ثم يصر الأب على دعوات ويدعو الله عز وجل ويتصدق ويزكي ويعتمر ويحج. فبلطف الله عز وجل وبعد عمر طويل يرد الله عز وجل هذا الولد إلى أبيه مؤمنا موحدا هاديا مهديا. That the person could have a child that he's not listening to him, and the father and the mother, they doing their best for the child to be guided, and he's not guided, and he grows up a day after a day, he's not guided, he's doing things haram, he's watching haram things, his actions are haram, he goes with bad friends and mates. And after a long time, because of the dua of his father, the dua of his mother, and the umrah and hajj, subhanallah, he returns guided to Allah, he returns to the masjid, he returns as a good son, and so on. And this happens with our wives, this happens with our parents, this happens with our friends. You see lutfullahi azza wa jal, the kindness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Person is driving a highway and it's very dangerous, and he was disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that day, and he was dealing in usury in riba, and he was doing something haram, and then he makes an accident. He stays in the hospital for months, staying in the hospital, and he didn't die. Allah didn't cause him to die. And then while he's on that bed of death, waiting for his fate to die anytime, he's sending to an imam, could you send me, imam, please? Could you send me someone who can tell me what to do? How can I meet with God? And then the imam comes to him and he says, all you need to do is to do a shahada. And you pray even if you do not move. You just pray even if you pray with your eyes. You pray with your head, you pray with your eyes for you, because you're sitting on that bed. So you can pray, because this is all you can do right now. And you make repentance. And while you're sleeping on the bed of death, you do the remembrance of Allah. Wallahi, it happened here. And they called the masjid, we need an imam. They call it Chiblin. Was an UC, Chiblin, you know, Chiblin? The Chiblin is the one, the religious man who's responsible for the religious matters in prisons, in hospitals, in the public places. That Chaplain, yeah, that chaplain, he called the masjid, and he said, I'm a Catholic chaplain, preacher, and there is a person here, says, I'm a Muslim. I think I told you this. And he burnt himself. So all the body, the skin, no skin. He burnt himself. All the body is in rolls, something like this that covers the body, the bandages, it covers all of the body, no skin, subhanallah. And he burnt himself for Palestine. Because his knowledge regarding the issue of Palestine, that said, that's enough, I will kill myself. That's enough. And as Muslims, we are not frustrated. We cannot be bored of what we see, of the suffering, of the tests that we see every day. And we keep asking Allah the relief. We keep asking Allah to give Muslims the support and the help that they need. And we believe that if we die on this issue, we die on Tawheed, and if they die, they are martyrs. And we have to continue defending this issue till we die. And this is part of the kindness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that everybody forgot about Palestine. And then He intended subhanahu wa ta'ala for this to happen, to make everyone knows about Palestine, knows about the reality, and knows about our land, and knows about our religion. And thousands of people, they become Muslims every day. And thousands of people of non-Muslims, they defend this issue today. Forget about politics. Politics is nothing. But talk about the folks, the public. They know more about this issue and this case. And they defend it, even if Muslims still sleepy. So subhanallah, that brother, because he had lack of knowledge and he wasn't practiced Muslim. He wasn't praying, he wasn't fasting. He does nothing, but his name, he's Muslim. So I went to him with brother Abdul Rahman, he's not here. We went to him. He asked us, barely he can speak. SubhanAllah, how can I do anything? Barely can speak, subhanAllah. How can I do anything before I die? That I turn to Allah. He's asking about how can I come back to Allah? This is the kindness of Allah, that He gives him a chance to live for this time so that he returns to Allah. I tell him to do so and so and so, and you don't have to go anywhere because he cannot move. And people cannot touch him, subhanAllah. And you just say a shahada and wait for your fate. If it happens, if you're still alive, so you came back to Allah, to masajid, to pray and so on, and seek the forgiveness of Allah and ask Allah forgiveness and pray with your eyes. The only thing in his body, in all of the body, lips and eyes were shown, subhanallah al-azim. That's kindness of Allah, that He wants that person to come back to Him. هذا لطف الله عز وجل بعباده سبحانه وتعالى. تنظر إلى وصية لقمان إلى ابنه. يقول الله تبارك وتعالى على لسان لقمان: يا بني إنها إن تك مثقال حبة من خردل فتكن في صخرة أو في السماوات أو في الأرض يأتي بها الله إن الله لطيف خبير. Oh my son, anything which very, very, very small, that you cannot imagine how small it is. And if it's hidden in the heaven and the earth, under a rock, under anything, in the darkness, in the day, whatever it is, wherever it is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings that thing. He knows everything about that thing. Inna Allah latifun khabir. He is the ever kind to His servants. Khabir, the all-knowing, aware of His servants. So that gives us, that all the times you trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala regarding His destiny. He chooses for you to be a student in that college. He chooses for you to stay in that land. He chooses for you to study this way. He chooses for you that job. You're satisfied as long as it's something halal, and you're fighting, you're striving to continue. And you depend on Him and you trust in Him even if you find it hard around you. Because He chose the best for you. We don't have, our knowledge is nothing. But His knowledge encompasses everything. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that gives us the trust in our hearts regarding Allah more and more. And when you look at His provision, what did He say when He talked about the provision? He said, Allahu latifun bi'ibadih. He is the ever kind to His servants. يَرْزُقُ مَن يَشَاءُ. He provides whomever He wants, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whomever He wants, He provides. A kafir, Muslim, He provides everyone. Just in case he becomes a Muslim. Just in case that he returns to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Just in case if he talks in the day of judgment and he says, Ya Allah, you didn't give me chance. Yeah, Allah, you didn't feed me, you didn't provide me. Allah provides us with everything. Provides us all. يَرْزُقُ مَن يَشَاءُ, whoever He wants it, subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَهُوَ الْقَوِيُّ الْعَزِيزُ, and He does this not because someone is pressing Him or making pressures over Him, and He forces Him to do so. No. وَهُوَ الْقَوِيُّ الْعَزِيزُ, He's the Almighty, subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's doing this with the all power, and He's the Almighty. He's the all powerful, and He's the Almighty. He doesn't do that because of any kind of weakness, but He does that because of His kindness. If one out of thousands or millions of people become a Muslim, that's enough. Numbers are nothing. The most important thing is the belief itself. And you look at the stories, you look at the prophets. يأتي النبي يوم القيامة ومعه الرجل. The prophet come in the day of judgment, believed with him only one person. And a prophet comes and 2 persons only believed in him. And 3 persons only believed in him. وَيَأْتِي النَّبِيُّ وَلَيْسَ مَعْهُ أَحَدٌ. And a prophet comes and nobody believed in him. Allahu Akbar. All the nation that he was sent to them, none of them saw the guidance. None of them saw the mercy of Allah. None of them saw the straight way. All of them disbelieved in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yes. Just to let you know that numbers are nothing. You know, when you do the right thing, when you're in the straight way, and all people oppose you, and all people reject what you do. And for the sisters, all people and women, they reject her hijab. And for men, all people reject your beard. All people reject the form, your clothes, your religion. That's gonna make nothing in the sight of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not gonna affect anything. A prophet comes and nobody believed in him. Allahu Akbar. Just to be steadfast. That's the kindness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah did not kill all of them once. Give them chances after chances after chances. And they will have their fate, and they will be questioned in the day of judgment. Allahu Latifun bi'ibadi. Always think about the kindness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how He gives us multiple chances from time to time to come back to Him, to become more strong, to become more faithful, to come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and to love this religion more and more, and to sacrifice for the sake of this religion more and more, to teach people and to tell people about this religion, and to know the meaning of this religion and the meaning of being a Muslim who submits to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is a big story, a very long story. We need to think always about lutfullah azza wa jal. While you're making sujood, think about lutfullah, the kindness of Allah, that He enables you to make sujood. Without lutfullah, you would be, in the street, you would be in a coffee shop, you would be drinking alcohol, you would be with a woman outside. Because of lutfullah, you're here in the masjid. Because of lutfullah, you're sitting right now listening in a circle of knowledge. Because this is lutfullah azza wa jal. And some other people, they're just in the dunya. Whether they work, they do lawful things, or whether they do haram things. So think about lutfullah azza wa jal, and this gives us the ability to be enough thankful to Him subhanahu wa ta'ala, because without Him we would be nothing. We would be nothing, and we get nothing without Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and with Him we get everything. نسأل الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يلطف بنا. اللهم الطف بنا يا رب العالمين، والطف بعبادك الصالحين وبعبادك المستضعفين، والطف بعبادك المستضعفين في فلسطين وفي لبنان وفي شتى بقاع الأرض يا منان. اللهم أنزل عليهم لطفك، اللهم أنزل عليهم رحماتك، اللهم فرج عنهم كربهم، اللهم فرج عنهم كربهم، وأذهب الغم عنهم يا رب العالمين، وارفع الحصار عنهم، وارفع البلاء عنهم، وارفع مقتك وغضبك عنا يا رب العالمين، والطف بنا وبعبادك الصالحين، وردنا إلى دينك مردا جميلا. وعليك بهؤلاء الأعداء فإنهم لا يعجزونك. اللهم عليك بهؤلاء الأعداء الذين آذوا عبادك وقتلوهم وشردوهم يا رب العالمين. اللهم عليك بهؤلاء الأعداء فإنهم لا يعجزونك. اللهم أحصهم عددا واقتلهم بددا ولا تبق منهم أحدا. ربنا إننا مغلوبون فانتصر. اللهم ردنا إلى دينك مردا جميلا. ويا مقلب القلوب ثبت قلوبنا على دينك، ويا مصرف القلوب صرف قلوبنا على طاعتك. وصل اللهم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم، والحمد لله رب العالمين، وجزاكم الله خيرا.